Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We want to welcome all of you here to Temple Har Shalom for what is a very special afternoon as we prepare to call Kayla to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. We are thrilled to see so many familiar faces, some of whom are returning to the congregation, others who are new to perhaps Temple Har Shalom, and we hope this is just the first of many times you will be here to visit, and of course, so many of Kayla's friends. So it's wonderful to have you all. Just a reminder to everyone, our afternoon service is a fully religious service within a sanctuary. So for those of you who may have cell phones, please, you need to turn them to the off position, please. To the off position. And we are welcoming those on our live webcast, and we are live on YouTube right now as well. So there's no need for anyone to take any pictures or record, because that is all being done professionally. So to get us in a Shabbos mood, how exciting. It's time to begin with Hine Matov, and we're on page 128. Please make sure, everybody, you have a prayer book to follow along. It is the Mishkan Tefillah, and even if you are unfamiliar with our service, I'm sure you can follow with us because there is English, there's transliteration, and of course the Hebrew. Cantor Benray and I love to hear your voices, so please feel free to sing as loud as you'd like. As we begin our service, I must make note to Kayla how surreal this is to be here with you, Kayla, as a bat mitzvah. The last time I was fortunate enough to do a life cycle event for you was for your baby naming. And I think all of us are sitting here just in awe of the young woman you've become, but also at the quick passage of time and how fortunate we all are to be here today. So the very first thing that is going to happen is that Kayla is going to be enwrapped in a talit, and the talit she has chosen to wear is the same one that her mom Jen wore at her adult bat mitzvah, another incredible life cycle event in which I was privileged to share. So Kayla, if you would come take your place on the bima, and your parents are going to come up and wrap you in this talit, which brings you lots of love, warmth, and most especially what we say in Hebrew, b'chatzlacha, all the good luck that it had brought your mom. And the blessing is around the crown, and let's repeat it. Amen, amen. We'll give them a hug. And Kayla, you're going to come here. We are going to turn, please, to page 338 as Kayla begins our service with the chanting of the Ashrei.
Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, oja hallelujah, selah.
Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav.
Tehillah leDavid, aromimcha Elohai hamelech, va'avarcha shimcha leolam va'ed.
Bechol yom avarcheka, va'ahalila shimcha leolam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai umchulau me'od, ve'lig dilato ein heker.
Dor ledor yeshabach ma'asecha, ugvurotecha yagidu.
Hadar kevod hodecha, v'divrei nifleotecha asicha.
Ve'ezuz norotecha yomeru, ugdulatcha asaprena.
Zecher avtucha yabiu, v'tzidkatcha yiranenu.
Chanun verachum Adonai, erech apai mugdol chased.
Tov Adonai lakol, v'rachamav al kol ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'chasidecha yevarchucha.
Kevod malchutcha yomeru, uvuratcha yedaberu.
Lehodia livnei ha'adam gevurotav, uchvod hadar malchuto.
Malchutcha malchut kol olamim, umem shaltecha v'chol dor v'dor.
So mech Adonai lechol hanoflim, v'zokef lechol hakfufim.
Einecho elecha yesaberu, ve'ata noten lahem et ochlam be'ito.
Poteach et yadecha, umaspia lechol chayratzon.
Sadik Adonai bechol derachav, ve'hasid bechol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol korav, lechol asher yikra'uhu ve'emet.
Ritzon Yereya Yaaseh, ve'et Shabbatam, Yishmam ve'yoshiem.
Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol harshayim yashmid.
Tehilat Adonai Yedaber pi, v'vibarech kol basar, Shem kocho le'olam ba'ed.
Va'anachnu nevarech ya, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah.
We are on page 343.
There are times when the love of God burns so powerfully within your heart that the words of prayer seem to rush forth quickly and without deliberation.
At such times, it is
Not you
yourself
who speak, rather it is through you that the words are spoken.
And on page 344, we rise now for tefillah. That's awesome.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufia tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher Chasei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, Le'man Khan Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atarach Le'Hoshia. Mashiach HaRuach Mori HaGashem. Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim. Zomech Noflim Verofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'agevurot, U'Midom Elach, Melech Meimit U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol. Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Mekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto bishmimaro, Kal katuv היה נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומגנו, ומושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור
And you may all be seated. We're on page 353 as we continue reading the paragraphs responsively.
For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For
the strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise.
For the peace in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For the gift of Shabbat, which renews us for life, we offer blessing. Baruch Atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Page 355. Again, we read responsively.
On this holy Shabbat, we draw nearer to life, peace, and joy.
May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, work in our study of Torah.
Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess and cleanse our hands to serve life well.
On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace and in joy. Baruch Atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha beyira na'avod.
And our prayer of thanksgiving on page 357.
For the gifts of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, those nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts, we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy.
May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to the world. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lichol shalom. Ki ata melech Adon lichol shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amecha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Each and every Shabbat with those beautiful words of Shalom Rav, we pray that God will bestow abundance of peace, meaning completeness on all of us, completeness of body, mind, and soul. And yet we realize that it's not for God to do alone, that each and every Shabbat we are God's partners. In fact, that is the greatest lesson perhaps that Kayla teaches us today by sitting on the bima, that bat mitzvah is not an automatic. One has to come to it with meaning and effort, with work and with conviction. It's a partnership. God gives a little, we give a little. And the hope is we meet in between, and this is the fruit of our labor. And indeed, there has to be a little bit of the divine in every time we come together, because we are so fortunate. And Shabbat's the one day a week. We should at least recognize that. So if you have endured challenges in the past week and question how the new week will be when it arrives, if you have had many blessings this past week, but perhaps it just skipped your mind to stop and say thank you, that's what this moment is for. To just pause for a few moments to realize our good fortune and to say, Toda Rabbah, thank you for our blessings. We pause for a few moments.
יעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ויעקב ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, ויעקב ישראל. 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 יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, ויעקב ישראל.
It is a wonderful sight to sit on the bima and look out and see all your family and friends, but it's even more fun when you get to leave the bima, take a walk, and say hello to everyone. And that's the point we're at now, where Kayla is excited to accept Torah as her own, as we are going to pass it generation to generation. And then she will take a walk holding what is a very heavy Torah, not only in weight, but in meaning, because she herself is accepting a very large and great responsibility on this day of Bat Mitzvah. So, Kayla, I'm going to ask you to come take your place, please. To open the ark doors, I'm going to welcome forward your Aunt Kimberly and your cousins Remy and Alex, if they'll come forward. And I'm going to invite forward your parents and your grandparents to please come forward so they can line up beside you and accept Torah. If everyone would rise, please. And Jen and Randy, if you'd please come forward. Well, that wonderful energy that we just saw from Kayla as she quickly made her way through this sanctuary is that same enthusiasm and energy that she has brought to everything in preparation for this day, in truth. In fact, she has been so self-motivated that certain prayers on this bema are being accomplished for the very first time. They have never been done before. And Kayla, we want to congratulate you on taking on such an incredible task and making it look easy. You really have made it look easy. Well, Kayla knows that she is going to chant from the Torah and Haftorah in just a few moments, but always as she sat there as the little sister before, watching her big brothers become B'nai Mitzvah, she knows that we always take a few moments to speak a few words of Torah. And while you will teach us, it is now our time to teach you. So Kayla, it's very easy to look at your Torah portion and your book and realize it's easy to look at the book, it's hard to interpret it. And that's because the book that you are reading from, which we just started this morning, is the third book of Torah. It's known as Vayikra, or the book of Leviticus. And it is not a storybook, rather it is a law book. And it is here in the book of Leviticus that the Israelites are given a plan, literally. They're given a plan in how to live life, how to follow a Jewish calendar, how to take care of their religious life, how to take care of both the elderly and the young, how to educate our children, how to enforce laws, how to follow ethics and morals. It really is a GPS for life. And here, Kayla is only at the second portion, so therefore there are many laws yet to come. But in this portion, in particular, is a part, Kayla, that speaks of you and your family, to me. Because it is here that we learn that it is Aaron who is in charge of the religious life of the Israelites, that he is to keep a fire burning on the altar. Meaning, much like our eternal light, there should always be a spark flickering that reminds us who we are, where we've come from, and to remember the GPS directions on where we are going. Kayla, in your family, that spark has been kept from generation to generation. Each one lights the next, some with a little more enthusiasm, like you represent today, some a little quieter, like your brothers, who have accepted it, modeled for you, but are still trying to find the excitement in it. And ultimately, I think they will. And it comes from the spark of your grandparents, those who are present, and especially your grandfather, who is very much shining down on you, and certainly whose presence, immediate presence, that we miss. And so it is that, Kayla, now that spark goes to you. And here we feel very confident because you are literally glowing. And you are glowing from the inside out. Proud of what you've done, so proud to bring it forward and show others, and also appreciating who you are and where you've come from. You get that spark from the smile and irrepressible energy of your mom, and from the incredible support of your dad. And for all of this, we know that the spark, that eternal light, will keep on burning just like the Torah commands us. So as Kayla comes to the Torah to read from this second book, the third book, the second portion known as Tzav, please look at her with the glow and the light that she is igniting, and may all of us be fortunate enough to learn from all she has to teach. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Those sparkles help with the glow too. They're beautiful. Up you go. And before Kayla chants, there are those who are going to bless. And what a joy it is to welcome forward her grandparents, Linda and Donald and Arlene, to come forward now to offer a blessing. It's right here. Please come right around. It's for you. They're going to join us. You're right. I'm counting, remembering those things. Every one of them.
It's nice and big. Okay.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Amen. V'adaber Adonai al Moshe lemor. Zav et Aaron ve'panav lemor. Zotarat ha'olah. Hi ha'olah. Al mokedah al hamizbeach. Kol halayla. Ad haboker v'esh hamizbeach tukabo. V'levash ha'kohen midovad. U'michnasei bad. Yilvash al v'zaro. V'herim et hadeshen. Asher tochal ha'esh. Et ha'olah al hamizbeach. V'samo etzel hamizbeach. Ufeshatz et begadav v'lavash begadim aherim v'hotzi et hadeshen el mechutz l'mahaneh
El Makom Tahor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Asher natan lanu Torat emet. B'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten HaTorah. Amen. Yasher Koach.
Give her a hug. You're great. Of course.
You're beautiful.
The three of you would just wait on the other side. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
And Kayla, for our second Aliyah, what a pleasure it is to welcome back two who stood on this bima before you, Bradley and Ryan. Still with the same excitement.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'ha'esh al hamizbeach Tukabo lo tichve uvir aleha hakohen etzim baboker berach aleha hala behitir aleha chelbe hashamim eish tamid tukadal hamizbeach lo tichve bezot torat haminha hakrevota b'nei Haron lifnei Adonai Opnei Chamizbeach Beherim Mimenu Bekum So Miso Let Hamincha Umishana Be'et Kol Halivana Asher Al Hamincha Behitir Hamizbeach Reach Nihoach
Azkarata Ladonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam, atah b'teheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Well, congratulations.
Good job, sister.
Bradley, come back up when you're ready. You take your grandmother down and then come back up. And for our third aliyah, it's a pleasure to welcome forward now your parents. Jen, Randy.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'karvanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Toratav. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'hanateret mimena Yohelu Aharon Ubinav Matzot Teachel B'makom Kadosh B'hatzar HaMoed Yohelu Ha Lo Teafe HaMetz Halkam Notati Ota Meshai Kodesh Kodeshim Hi Kachatas B'chasham Kol Zahar B'bnei Aharon Yohelena Hogolam L'derotechem Meishei Adonai Kol
Asher yiga bahem yikdash.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu et Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We'll give her a hug and stay right here. Stay right with us right here. And now, Kayla, the honor of calling you forward officially as a bat mitzvah goes to your brothers.
Ta'amod, Marguerite, Johanna, Bat, Ruvain, Bechana, Likvod haTorah, Habat mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamabarach
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamabarach Le'olam Va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'daber Adonai el Moshe Lemor Zeh korban Aharon uvenav Asher yakrivu l'Adonai Beyom himashach oto Asiri haifa solet Mincha tamid Mahatita ba'boker Umahatita ba'arev O machavat Bashemen teaseh morbechet teviana tufine minchat pitim takriv rach nihoach l'Adonai v'hakohen hamashiach tachtav v'banav yaseh ota hokolam l'Adonai kalil toktar Bechol min ha'az kohen.
Khalil tiyeh lo te'achel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natat b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Boys, you can go back. Thank you. Jan, what? No, you stay here. One moment, I'm just going to grab the Torah. And Kayla, it is time for your parents to offer you some special words of blessing. And I'm going to just cover the Torah before they do that.
Okay.
Please, thank you.
All right. Kayla, sometimes I think I dreamt you up. It started back when I was a teenager. I would come home from school to watch one of my favorite TV shows with a character I loved named Kayla. I knew from back then that one day I wanted to have a daughter and give her that name. So by the time I was pregnant with you, I was just hoping and praying that you would turn out to be the girl that I wanted. I remember one snowy day, getting my nails done right before my 20-week ultrasound and seeing a mother with her daughter at the salon and tearing up with anticipation of your upcoming gender reveal. So when the doctor told me that you would be a girl, I announced to Dad that you would be my Kayla. Kayla, that was just the beginning. Born 3 weeks early, on April 1st, you were everything I hoped for and more. Being the third child, you adapted to any situation, sleeping or eating on the go. Your birthday just punctuated your personality as you sparkle like an April diamond with a little mischievous twist, which comes with being born on the 1st. Some people even thought it was an April Fool's joke, being that the boys came right on time, but I assured them that you were a dream come true. Even as a baby, you fit the girly mold, from trying to get people's attention and then giving them a big gummy smile, to putting your feet up in the air, obsessing over the socks you were wearing, and picking out the bow you'd wear in your hair, to one of your first words being shoes. I knew immediately that you would be my shopping, primping, and all things girly partner in crime. But although I claimed you as mine from the beginning, I was not alone in my love for you. Even though you were younger and smaller, the boys adored you from the minute you joined our family. And while you spewed sugar and spice, you could keep up with the boys, and you can even attempted to outplay them. An athlete from very young, you kept up with them on the playground, the ski slopes, the pool, biking, and rock climbing. You even carved out a new sape-off athletic turf, the dance floor, which turned out to be your activity of choice. You started your dancing career as a baby. Whenever you would hear Boom Boom Pow by the Black Eyed Peas, you'd start dancing in your high chair. You have always loved to make the boys laugh, while you laughed at all their jokes in return. You get their humor, and you can provoke a giggle or a cackle in a split second. Whether you're gagging over their shrimp jokes, teasing them for their crazy boy sensibilities, or egging them on, your brothers love your humor. But Kayla, as crazy as you can be, you have also have an intense, serious side. You work hard in school and are determined to succeed in all of your studies. You are clean, organized, and always ask how you can be of any kind of help. The entire family can depend on you not to only be self-sufficient, but also to lend a hand for anything that is needed. You always go the extra mile, and you are a kind, loving, thoughtful family member and friend who deserves all the close, meaningful relationships and long-lasting relationships that you've built in your 13 years. Yes, you are special to me, Kayla, but I know that there are many people in this world, including your dad, Bradley, Ryan, grandparents, and so many friends, that would say you are special to them too. So on your bat mitzvah day, I'm still wondering if I dreamt you up. Did all my hopes for my daughter manifest in your existence? I have to say they did. If I could order a daughter off a menu, Kayla, I would order exactly you and wouldn't change a thing. What I wanted, what our family needed, what our friends cherish is exactly you. And on this milestone day, I hope you feel all the love that surrounds you and that you continue to be exactly who you are, a diamond of a girl who can keep up with her older brothers, keep going the extra mile with all that you do, and don't ever stop adding to the lives of those who cross your path. We love you.
It is now time for us to lift and dress the Torah. It's a pleasure to welcome forward Aunt Dawn and Uncle Mark, and I'd ask everyone to rise, please.
So Kayla's about to chant from her Haftarah portion, and today her Haftarah is Jeremiah, from the book of Jeremiah, and she'll begin with chapter 7 at verse 21 and go through verse 29.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nevi'im tovim v'rasa v'divrayhem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'b'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'b'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Ko amar Adonai Sebaot Elohei Yisrael Olotechem Sefu al zivchechem Veichlu vasar Ki Lo dibarti at avotechem Velo tzivitim Beyom Hoti'i otam Me'eretz Mitzrayim Al divrei olah Azavach ki imet hadavar hazeh tziviti otam lemur shimeu bekoli v'hayiti lachem le'elohim ve'atem tihili le'am v'halachtem b'chol haderech asher ata be'etchem le'man yitav lachem Velo shameu, velo hitu et oznam, vayelechu, vemo eitzot, vishvirut libam, hara, vayihu leahor, velo lefanim, lemin hayom, asher yatzeu avotechem, me'eretz mitzrayim, ad hayom hazeh, Va'eshlach aleichem et kol avadai hanevi'im yom hashkem v'shaloach v'lo shameu elai v'lo et oznam, vayakshu, et orpam, hey re, ume avotam. V'dibarta alehem, et kol hadebarim ha'ele, velo yishmeu elecha, v'karata alehem, velo ya'anucha, ve'amarta alehem, ze hagoy asher lo shame'u, ve'kol Adonai Elohav, ve'lo lakechu musar, avada ha'emunah, ve'nicharta mipihem, gozi nizrech, v'hashlihi usi al shefaim, ki nach, ki ma'as Adonai vayitoch, et dor avrato, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sor kol ha'olamim, tzadik v'chol hadarot, ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yosef, ha'medaber u'mekayim, shekol divarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, Ligadusha v'limenuha, lichavod utifaret, al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, et nachnu modim lach, umevarhim otah, yitvarach shimcha befi kol hai, tamid le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
We are now going to return the Torah to the Ark. And to open the Ark doors, it's a pleasure to welcome forward cousins Michael and Matthew. And I'd ask everyone to rise, please. And you may be seated. It is now time for Kayla to share with us her own teachings and reflections on this day.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you all for joining me on my special day. My Torah portion is on the book of Leviticus and the section is Sav. The transliteration of Sav means command in Hebrew, and God describes the different laws of sacrifices. It starts off by talking about God's instruction to Moses regarding the laws of the animal and meal offerings at the tabernacle. God told Moses, "Command Aaron and his sons, saying, 'This is the law of the burnt offering. The burnt offering should be on the hearth of the altar all night until the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be kept burning on it.'" There are 5 types of offerings discussed in my portion. The first one is called Olah, which is known as the ascending offering. This was a sacrifice that was devoured by the fire on the altar. It requires an animal or bird must be only offered during the day to be sacrificed and must be burnt through the night. The fire had to be supervised to make sure it would never burn out. The second offering is called mincha, and it's translated to gift. This offering was known as the meal offering. Some of this meal offer, or flour, was burned on the altar, and some was consumed by the kohanim, which was a high priest. The flour had to be baked so fast, the flour had to be baked fast so the dough wouldn't rise. The third offering is shalamim, also known as the peace offering. This offering was a way to show some thanks to God on some occasions. It was a freewill offering that was eaten by the one bringing it. There was so much food offered that the family and friends would celebrate together. The fourth offering is chatat, also known as a sin offering. This was an offering that was required to offer to make an atonement for certain sins committed unintentionally. The last offering is asham, also known as a guilt offering. This was another required offering as part of the punishment required for certain acts. At the start of each day, a selected priest got to lift a shovel that was full of ashes from the altar and put it next to him. Then the priest would change out of his clothes and take the ashes outside. This wasn't for cleaning the altar, but it was a ritual to instill humility in the heart of the priests. While reading about my portion, I found I learned something huge. I related to my portion that people make choices in life that are good, but some of them may not have been 100% right. Those poor decisions will create regret and will eventually lead to guilt. The ashes on the altar represent our mistakes and actions we feel sorry about. The priests talked about how they shoveled ash to clean the altar, but left some behind to remind us about our regrets. My portion asks us to remember to look at the consequences of what we do and not ignore the damage of our actions. I will take pride in doing the right thing most of the time. I realize there will be ashes from some of my decisions, and it allows me to realize its result so I can learn from it. Ultimately, this will help me live my life of who I am and who I want to be. We should always be collecting ashes to remind us of any hurt we have caused without it becoming too overwhelming, where it would prevent us from moving forward in our lives. My connection occurred a few months ago when I went to write a note with a Sharpie, and instead of using the counter, I leaned it against the wall to write it, and I realized it bled through the paper onto the wall, staining it. I felt so bad telling my parents, but they suggested to use a magic eraser cleaner, and it came right off. After that, I learned my lesson and never did it again because of that guilt. In making mistakes in our lives, the most important thing is to apologize, figure out how to make things right, and learn so they don't happen again. Some people may think there isn't an actual meaning behind a B'nai Mitzvah, while there's a huge meaning behind it. A B'nai Mitzvah celebrates the person hosting it to become a Jewish adult, which is at age 13. I'm also having my Bat Mitzvah to continue the tradition to my family and religion. I have completed so many years in Hebrew school and will always recognize Hebrew. If someone asks me how proud I am to be Jewish, I reply with very. I take Judaism very seriously in its culture, history, and traditions. If you didn't know, my great-grandma Marion from Hungary survived the Holocaust, and if she didn't make it, I wouldn't be standing here today. In her early 20s, she fled from Hungary to the United States during the Holocaust. She and her stepfather were the only survivors of her family, as her mothers and sisters didn't make it. It is very important to me to carry on the traditions and beliefs of Judaism, as my family has done. For my mitzvah project, I volunteered for the Market Street Mission. The Market Street Mission has reached out to the poor in Morris County since 1889, helping people overcome being homeless, addictions, and those who are disabled. They have emergency services that help individuals with basic needs, including food, shelter, clothing, counseling, job training, and spiritual guidance in order to live stable, productive lives in our community. During the holidays in December, the Market Street Mission was doing a holiday party for the soup kitchen, and I made 3 different types of holiday-themed cookies, totaling over 6 dozen. I remember going up to the counter to deliver the cookies, and the person I delivered to was so grateful. He had gratitude in his voice and couldn't stop thanking me, telling me how good they looked. For Valentine's Day, I created my own mitzvah project. by creating over 180 brownies and cookies in individual gift bags for every resident there, adding homemade heart cards with messages saying, "You're awesome" or "You're amazing," etc., and attached them to bags that had Valentine's Day patterns. It made me feel really good knowing I made a difference, as they were so thankful. We also made cookies and brownies for first responders for the Jewish Community Center, JCC, in Bridgewater. We gave it to the Warren's Rescue Squad, and he was so grateful for them. I want to thank my Hebrew school teachers for helping me get to this point of understanding the culture and starting at an early age with some prayers. I also want to thank Cantor Benray, because without her, I wouldn't be able to do this. Cantor made learning fun and motivated me to do my best for this important day. I want to thank Rabbi Musnitsky for helping me write this speech and being such an inspiration. She has been there for my family through good times and bad. Not only did she perform my brother's bar mitzvahs, she also performed my mother's bat mitzvah and my baby naming, which makes it extra special to me. I want to thank Linan for teaching me Haftorah and Kiddush and being a reliable source for Hebrew school. I also want to thank my brothers, Ryan and Bradley, for teaching me Hebrew and sometimes not disturbing me when I need them to be. Ryan was also my Madrahim last year for Hebrew school, which is an assistant teacher for everyone who doesn't know. Ryan helped me practice for this important day because he was the latest bar mitzvah performed in my family. Bradley is always happy to help me with anything and is always supportive. Lastly, I want to thank my parents for always being there whenever I need them to be and helping me throughout this whole process. They were so supportive throughout my Hebrew school and made today happen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Thank you, God, for keeping everyone healthy, including me, and making me be able to celebrate today.
Right? Nope. Kayla, it has been such a blessing to work with you, to watch you blossom, to hear your beautiful voice, and to watch you overcome any obstacle that you've had along the journey, of which honestly there haven't been that many. You have put so much hard work into preparing for today. You took on the Ashrei. You've always, took on any challenge with a smile and a giggle, and your radiance just shone from within. So I think it's a beautiful thing also that you shared your own love through baking with others for your mitzvah project. You have such a light within you, and I'm so happy for you in this mitzvah that you're becoming now as a Jewish adult, and pray that as you continue on, you continue to shine that light. Mazal tov.
Thank you.
Okay, we've had a very special guest on our bima who wants to present you with a few special gifts from our congregation. And right before she does that, I know you're hearing an awful lot of happiness and joy and kfelling, but I need to say that there's just a tinge of sadness, and that is the fact that there's not another Sepoff to follow in your footsteps. It has been so much fun being able to share so many joyous occasions, and of course helping to raise you up in the most challenging of occasions as well. But thank you for being the cherry on top today. It's been a real wonderful pleasure. And it's a pleasure to welcome forward one of the tremendous leaders of our congregation, and I know a dear family friend. She has served in so many roles and comes now to present you with gifts. Meredith Landau. And my travel buddy.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Mazel Tov Kayla, and to your parents, Jen and Randy, and your brothers, Bradley and Ryan. I know you must be very proud. Kayla, through many family dinners, summers when your older brothers were away at camp, and barbecues, I've had the pleasure of watching you grow into a lovely young lady. You're so easygoing, which helps when you are the younger sister of two older brothers. One of your most special qualities is your spirit and drive to do everything your brothers do. That explains why you were biking, swimming, diving, and skiing at age 4. That same determination is what led you to find your mitzvah project. After the Market Street Mission turned you down as a volunteer because you were too young, you created your own unique way to make others feel good by relying on your hobby and talent of baking. You found a loophole that allowed you to bake winter holiday cookies for their residents, and then created your own Valentine's Day initiative for the mission, where you delivered more than 90 bags of homemade treats, including thoughtful and encouraging messages. Kayla, I hope you always keep that spark of determination in all you do. It will bring you much success. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, as a remembrance of this special day, please accept several gifts from our Temple family: a Kiddush cup made for Temple Har Shalom, a Bat Mitzvah certificate, a teen membership to the Bridgewater JCC, a certificate that a tree has been planted in Israel from the THS Sisterhood, a grant of up to $1,000 from Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West for travel to Israel with educational peer group, and a book geared toward teens on how various Torah portions relate to today's hot topics. We look forward to the many wonderful moments ahead where you will continue to shine, and we hope that Temple Har Shalom will continue to remain a part of your journey. Mazel tov.
Well, it is almost time to begin celebrating Kayla and all she has accomplished. We just have our closing prayers to partake in. So please, if you would return to your prayer books, page 586 for the Aleinu, I'd ask you all to rise, please. As you stand in front of the ark and face your congregation, we'll stand right there and face us. Just as 13 years ago you were blessed with this blessing, so we hope it will be recited at every joyous occasion in your life. May God bless you and keep you. May God shine upon you and always be gracious to you. God grant you now and through a long life with spiritual, mental, and physical well-being, as we all say.
Amen.
I would ask that we please remain standing, for even in our midst of our greatest joy, we are tempered with the memories of those who are no longer physically present with us, but have helped to bring us to this moment. On this Shabbat, we commemorate the Yortzites, the anniversaries of those who died at this season in years past. We remember those who have died in recent days. Always as a congregation, we remember those who have no one left to remember them. And on this day of Bat Mitzvah, we particularly remember great-grandparents and grandfather Louis Sepaf, upon whose shoulders Kayla stands this very day. We turn to page 598 to recite together the Kaddish prayer.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha barichu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba mim shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
And we pray that the source of peace will send peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us, as we all say.
Amen.
And you may be seated. Once again, on behalf of all of us here at Temple Har Shalom, our heartfelt best wishes of Mazel Tov go to Kayla, to you, her family and friends who have come from near and far, and we wish you now a joyous celebration in her honor, because she's worked hard for it, and I know she's anxious to get on that dancing floor. And so before we do that, our closing song is Ein Keloheinu, down on page 636, and I'm sorry, 626. And as we do that, we call forward Bradley and Ryan, Michael and Matthew, Remy and Alex to join Kayla to be ready for the blessings over the wine and the challah.
Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemalkeinu, ein Kemoshienu, mi Keloheinu, mi Chadonenu, mi Chemalkeinu, mi Chemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Kayla, pick up that Kiddush cup, and here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim, enjoy some juice. Guys, pull off the cover over the challah and get ready to eat. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Just pull the challah apart and have a bite. Thank you so much. Well, Mazel Tov and Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.